Hi, it's Mitch from PickDogs.com here with the Puck Dogs. We got pretty small but sturdy schedule of games today. You know, not a ton going on, so we're not going to have like one of our marathon shows, but a show nonetheless. We got you know, I don't know, NHL, we got NBA, got a little bit of college hoops. You know, I enjoyed kind of doing those YouTube videos today for the college hoops because it gives me a chance on days like this. It doesn't have to be, you know, the Duke, Kentucky, and you know, West Virginia, Ohio State games. You know, it gets to see what's up with South Alabama and some of these other teams, and all that stuff comes in handy in March. You know, when we really care. And of course, I think a little tougher to find value on those games on a short card like today. So I think you got to tread lightly because the obvious, sometimes not so obvious. So, anyways, let's get to action. How's it going, guys? What'd you think of those playoff games, man? It's like I was on Seattle, and then all of a sudden, like the world was on Seattle, and I was kind of like, maybe I don't like them so much, you know? Kind of like talked myself out of it. And, you know, all the other ones, I couldn't have been more wrong. The Saints, just dogs, man. I mean, how do you let up that deep pass? And, you know, the same thing with the Eagles, you know? It's like, I don't know, man. Don't know.
I think the Seahawks and the Vikings. I didn't think the Vikings were going to win outright. I thought they'd keep it close, but not win outright. And Seattle, I had Seattle all the way. The Eagles are garbage. They're in that garbage.
I didn't like the way Seattle played down the stretch.
They did play good down the stretch, but Seattle did look like garbage. But they got some players back. Cloudy came back. He looked pretty good. He probably get a fine. He might get a fine for that hit. Yeah. I think he get a fine today.
Anyways, hopefully everyone's off to a good start to their day. College hoops, you know, craziness as usual. Just, you know, there's a reason no one runs the table in college basketball anymore. That's for sure. But what are you guys looking at in NHL today? What do we got? Let's see. We got
4 games today.
Just 4 games. Let's get rolling with one. Got the Leafs and the Oilers. The Leafs minus 214. Not 215, not 210, 214.
214.
214. Chris?
Yeah, it's going to be a homer pick. I'm going to go Toronto on the puck line here, plus 115. It's like Rod.
8-12 at home on the puck line.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like Rod said before, and I've noticed it as well. Edmonton's just like a 2-player team right now. If McDavid and Draisaitl don't get going, the whole team has a hard time to get going. And I mean, we bashed Hutchinson on the show before. He stood on his head against the Islanders on Saturday night. I think if you get Anderson back in net, this one isn't close. I think Toronto wins it by a couple, 4-2, 5-2.
I'm with you. The Leafs are 9-0-1 their last 10. They're just rolling. Give me the Leafs on the puck line.
Yeah, it's got to be some value here. We got the Canadians up against the JTS Jets. Montreal kind of just treading through the season, and I tell you, neither of these teams are playing good. You know?
Not right now, no.
It's not like, man, I'm rushing. Oh, the Jets are playing. You know, it's like Montreal, the Habs, they're going to win it again. It's been a long time for them, right?
93.
No Habs memorabilia or anything in this house. See, Leafs.
It's been a while, though, right, for Montreal?
93.
They're the last Canadian team to actually win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, 27 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Claude
yeah.
Yeah, Edmonton came the closest in 2006, I think, from what or Vancouver too in 2010. But
I think Wall was in net for Montreal in 90. Was it 94? I want to say
93.
93.
Wow, it's hard to believe it's been that long for them.
Yeah. Well, see, it's the Canadian players. You'd rather go down and play in the U.S. because you get paid in American money, and then you can come back up to Canada and you just make 30% on your money.
But isn't there a draft?
Yeah, you get picked, but when they get traded, they say they don't want. They can say they don't want to go there.
Yeah, you can pull Eric Lindros and say you don't want to go to Quebec and then get traded.
And get traded. Yeah, he got drafted to Quebec and whined and complained and said, "I want to go there," and they traded him.
Those of you joining us, a couple of quick announcements also before we get rolling even more is number one, the show is going to be at 10 o'clock, 7 days a week through daylight savings time, which we said was March 6th, I think. And then at March 6th, we'll move to 11 a.m., 7 days a week. So we're just going to go to 10 a.m. across the board, 7 days a week. And it's just easier. And then we'll do it at 11 when daylight savings time starts. The other thing that I want to say is that 4 p.m. today, I have Charles Ormsby on and his computer and his software. And he's going to show us how he picks winners with his computer software. Dying to see this because I always hear about these guys and how much smarter and better they are than we are. So he's up against me, and let's just say, I'm not afraid of the tough question. I'm not afraid. We never massage the guests, right? It's like you get what you get. I mean, even our own people. I mean, this is what we do to our own people. You imagine what we're going to do with these guys. So Charles will be here. I've invited him to be on every day this week at 4 p.m. So we'll be able to go back and look at his picks that he made the day before and analyze those as well and see maybe where his computer was way on and off. We'll be able to go back and look at this data. I'm excited to see it. His product is very inexpensive, and the thing about it also is that if you guys are interested in it, he has like one deal lined up. We're going to call him out on a different one on the show. see if he has any live answers for us. We want special treatment, man. We want special treatment. It's like
the thing about those computer analytics. How does it take in effect? That's a big. How does it take in effect injuries? That's the only part that I don't get on.
We can ask him this stuff. These are the questions that we need to ask him. I think a lot of his doesn't have to do with that. It's just I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the software, which is going to make it fun because it's going to be more like how everybody else is going to view it. I don't know his software either. He sent me the stuff on it. I don't understand it. So it's like instead of him walking me through it, he's going to walk us all through it. And let's see if anybody has any questions on this little statistician. It's easy. It's like I've looked at it, and I the first thing I said when I looked at this software was I don't understand this. And he's like, well, what don't you understand? I said, well, you have words here, but no explanation as to what they mean, in this particular thing. So actually, he did listen to me. He went back and he put the wording in, for all the things. Of course, I'm not going to read that shit, right? It's like, how many instructions? I have a bag, okay? We'll get back to the picks in just a second, but I got a bag of what we call leftovers. Okay, so like whenever you install something like a ceiling fan or anything like that, put together like any ready-to-assemble furniture, things of that nature, and they give you that bag of screws with the Allen wrench, right? It's just extra. It's like, my wife's always like, what is this? It's extra. I don't know. Everyone has it. Don't even deny it. We all know. You got extra. Rod, you got extra parts ever?
Yeah, I think I got one right here.
It's like, how about the thing that you find on the floor that looks like it's a screw, looks like it's something important? It's like, what is this? I got no idea. And then you have a place for all of that stuff too, right?
Oh yeah.
Everyone's got like something that looks like this, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody does.
Got screws and
I got two of them. I got two of them. This is like a thing for a surfboard where you tie it onto the back of your board through a little thing, and then you wrap the leash on it with Velcro. That's what this is. This is a broken clip from a microphone right here. Okay.
But you'll still use it for something.
Look at it. What am I going to do with this? I mean, what exactly am I going to do with this?
You can still use to hold a door open or something.
It's a doorstop. Yeah, there you go.
This was like it's look how little. It's like this is maybe for a mouse door. Look, it was like a clip, you know, some kind. Oh, here it is. It went this way. You can see the non-slip surface for your fingers there. It's like, why do we keep this stuff? You know, meanwhile, it's like stuff that we really need. We can never find it because we threw it out. All right, let's get back to the games here. Let's get to some college hoops. We got a real crapo schedule here. Lots of Sun Belt. I did a ton of videos. There's also a lot of these third-party games, right? Kind of the added games, you know, with the 6-digit rotation numbers. Florida A&M 2-10 on the season up against North Carolina A&T. Boy, does it get any better than this, man. I actually covered a Rattlers game earlier this season. I did a write-up on opening night, and they're not bad. I said at that time that this is not a horrible team. And then they go in and they beat 2 games ago. They beat Iowa State. I mean, where does that come from? They're 2-10. One of their wins is against Iowa State. They did it on New Year's Eve. They beat them 70-68. They were getting 25 in that game. They beat them by 2. No one said anything about this, right? I mean, what was the money line on that thing?
I think someone put $1,000 on Iowa State.
They had back-to-back wins. They beat Seattle as a 13.5-point dog. And then they beat Iowa State as a 25-point dog. They covered against Washington State, getting 18.5 before that. They played Portland. They played Tennessee, Kansas State, Seton Hall, South Dakota, and Pacific. So not all 2-10s are equal. That's basically, if I have a point, that's it on this game. We look at North Carolina A&T, and we say, well, here's a 4-11 team. So they got twice as many wins as Florida A&M. Well, who did they play? They beat MIDAC. I don't even know who that is. I watch more sports than anybody. I'm gonna click on it and see who it is. Page not found. That's how
Page
bad
not
that
found.
was.
Yeah.
Okay. Page not found.
It's like a D2 or a D3 team or something like that.
They have a win over Longwood, but listen to this. And they beat Nichols, which is pretty good because Nichols beat Pittsburgh, right, this season. So they beat Nichols, but that was a long time ago. They lost to Eastern Michigan, Jacksonville. They got stomped in that one, 61-45. They were getting a point. Bradley, UTEP, overtime against Kent State. They were getting 14. Listen to this one. Getting 14. They get to overtime, and they push. Oh, man, you want to talk about a heartbreaker, right? If you're on Kent State in that one, you're jumping for joy because you figure you get to overtime. There's no way you're going to cover 14. You got North Carolina A&T. You're getting 14. You get to overtime. No idea, you know. Lost to Wake Forest by 12. Lost to Illinois by 30-something. They were getting 26.5 against Illinois. Didn't even cover. And then they have this 123-61 win over MIDAC. I don't know who that is, man. If anyone knows who MIDAC is, let me know. But I don't know, man. I've been on the Rattlers a bunch this season. Kind of like them. The Rattlers only allow 58.9. Oh, they only score 58.9. They allow 73 points a game. Oh, these are bad teams, man. These are just bad. I almost have to go with North Carolina A&T here. Even though I think the Rattlers, you know, the win over Iowa State and the win over Seattle are way better than the win over MDIC and Longwood. You know what? I'm going to take Florida A&M in the points. What the hell? You guys have any opinion on this, Gem? This is a beauty.
I wrote that game. I picked North Carolina A&T just because of the numbers. Just because of the scoring discrepancy.
I have no opinion on this game. MIDAC.
Mid-Atlantic Christian. I think it's like a subdivision school.
123 points the North Carolina A&T put on them. This is a brutal game. This is just, I mean, you got to really be hardcore to be betting on that thing.
Bet this game. I ain't betting this game.
But you think that game is bad, okay? This Sun Belt contest between Texas Arlington and South Alabama is just as bad. Texas Arlington is 5-10 on the season, 3-7 against the number. South Alabama is 8-7. These are the ones that I love, and if you guys ever watch my YouTube videos, and I know not everybody watches them, but this guy's got the wrong show. You're at the wrong show, buddy. But we're gonna have to delete that at the very least. But anyways, to me, when you look at the record against the spread, and you look at the record against the spread, and it's not there, it's a lot less games than they've played, right? When they're like 8-7 on the season, but 2-6 against the spread, then they played a lot of those Mid-Atlantic Christians, right? That's basically what that comes down to. So they play in a lot of unlined games. And when you play unlined games, I mean, you have to almost throw those stats out the window. And that is South Alabama. Meanwhile, Texas Arlington, these guys were pinata in the out-of-conference play. I mean, they played just a ridiculous schedule. And it's one thing to play the ridiculous schedule, but you at least have to get off the bus at some point. They just never did. I mean, they got beat by Houston by 8. That was really the highlight of the season. They were getting 14. I mean, they beat Elon. They lost to Furman by a point. So they've actually been in some of these games.
They hung in with Gonzaga, too.
They hung with Gonzaga. They played Washington also, right? Or one of those West Coasters. They've played a lot of games. They've played 15 games already. This is a team that's been in the tournament in recent years, too. Anyways, basically what I'm saying here is that South Alabama is no gem here either. You know, they have a lot of wins over teams that you never heard of also. A lot of wins over teams. They have a win over Northeastern. They have the win over Miami of Ohio. And but outside of that, absolutely nothing special going on here with South Alabama. I think when you have a team that's 5-10 against a team with a winning record and they're laying 6.5 points, it tells you a lot. You know, kind of like that Michigan State spread yesterday. The spread the number kind of tells you everything that you need to know. I'm going to take Texas Arlington. I'm going to lay the points. I was going to do a video on this game, and I had it on my board, and I had done all the research and everything. And it was just one of those ones. I was doing so many videos, I just missed it. It happens to me once in a while, and it's like sometimes I will go back and reshoot the video, and other times I'll just say, I don't really feel like, I've done 19 videos that are up. I don't feel like doing Texas, Arlington, South Alabama. I'm not doing it. And we'll just talk about it right here. So we are. So my second pick is going to be Texas, Arlington. Let's go back to the ice. You got any picks on this one, Chris?
Yeah, I like Texas, Arlington, too. South Alabama's 0-6-1 against the spread in their last 7 overall.
Yeah, but I think that I know they're 0-6-1 against the spread in the last 7, but I think UTA has some beautiful things like that as well. But they're also 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 home games, following 3 or more consecutive road games. That's the thing about UTA also that you have to remember here is that they've played 15 games. 10 of those have been on the road. This is only their 6th home game. I mean, that's crazy. It's like playing an SEC schedule, as an opponent. It's like you never get to play them at home. It's like, Rod, any opinion here? By the way, congrats on the Washington win yesterday. I had USC. I said you were going to lose, and you didn't. But you had a couple that were on the other side, though, that we got the better of. I believe Colorado might have let you down there.
Oh, yeah. Like Colorado.
I love it. I love it when people on my YouTube comments tell me that I lost. It's like they act like I say in this video, like I never lose, or like I'm this, 90% picker or something. It's like, oh, trust me, man. I lose 6,000 times a year.
Oh, for sure. Can't win them all.
No. It's like...
Nobody does, and if they are, they're lying to you.
That's what I say. What do you think here?
I'll take Texas.
All right.
Let's go with Texas.
Let's go to this college football game. What do you guys think of this thing? Chris, what do you think about this Lending Tree Bowl? I just think that, here we are, January 6th. All the bowls have been played except for the national championship. Why are they showing this game again? Is it because the Monday Night Football hangover and like there's no Monday night, and last week there was college football bowl game, so it's kind of like weaning us off Monday Night Football, and then next Monday's the national championship game, and then what happens after that? Is Big Brother back on or something? I mean, I really don't understand this. Like, why it's January 6th and we're watching the Lending Tree Bowl? I don't get this, and I don't get why the national championship isn't for another week. Because the last game they played was on the 28th. It's not like they played on just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on Louisiana Lafayette here. I just like the schedule they played. I think they're the tougher team. My stance on MAC team. The MAC teams have done well this bowl season. I think Lafayette flexes some muscle here, so I'll lay the points with the Cajuns.
Yeah, me too, and I really like the over. I think we're going to get some points.
I'm on the other side on this one, taking Miami of Ohio. I don't care. We were on the air the other day for a bowl game, the bowl game that started on Saturday, that early start, and Southern Miss got out to that big lead, and then Tulane came roaring back, and we ended up getting the win there. But Miami of Ohio has been rolling. They have won 6 of their last 7. 7 of their last 9. Of course, they lost at Columbus, Ohio State. They were close. It was a close game. They only lost by 71 against Ohio State. That's 7 touchdowns and change to those of you trying to figure out how you get to 71-point differential. But they stayed within 8 touchdowns of the Buckeyes in Columbus. Something's got to be said for that. Of course, they were getting 38.5, and it just wasn't even close to being enough. They do have the win over Buffalo, who was the MAC champions and who also was a bowl winner. They bounced back from the Ohio State loss with that. And then they ran through the also-rans of the MAC. They beat Ohio. Both these teams have a common opponent. It's Ohio. Lafayette racked them up, and they beat them by 20, 45-25, while Miami beat them 24-21. I just think 14 is a ton. Miami has been a team that has started slow every single season, and their last 6 games is when they play their best football. They always have a quarterback that seems like he's been injured like for 3 years, I don't know. I like Miami of Ohio in this one. I'm not rushing to the window. It's not a premium play. It's not like anything like that. It's the Lending Tree Bowl, which they let me call it the Alabama. If they refer to it as the Alabama Bowl in any way, shape, or form, that's what we'd be calling it. But they don't even give you the out on this one. Like, if you guys notice when I title my YouTube videos, I never call it the sponsor name. I only call it the name of the bowl.
The name of the bowl.
The Rose Bowl, presented by Northwestern Mutual. It's been, in these bowls, they change sponsors all the time, too. What happened to the GoDaddy Bowl is gone, right? And there's so many bowls that, where the sponsors have changed. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, it used to be, right?
Yeah. Tostitos.
It was like the McDonald's did the Rose Bowl before.
Huh.
Well, no debating who the sponsor is in this game. It's Lending Tree. And they are not going to let us forget us. Forget it. If you have pics of your own, the place to put those is in our Facebook group. So if you're not a member of our Facebook group, it's right there at the top of the screen. I'll put it right here at the bottom. There you go. Join us right there. Put up some of the social media stuff. Of course, those of you joining us late, I'll be back on today for a Monday show. I'm going to be on every day this week at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with Charles Ormsby, statistician, computer geek, computer analyst. I'm not sure what he calls himself. We'll ask him. We'll call him a couple names as well. And, we'll have some fun with Charles, and we'll see exactly how many winners his computer can put us on. He's got all sorts of data. Getting together his numbers, crunching. Takes about 5 hours for his computers to run through a game and come out with a pick. So I told him, I said, my guys want their picks faster than that. They're not waiting 5 hours. So we'll see. I told him, in order to have something for us, he's going to have the speed version and the long version. He's like, yeah, but people can dig into. We don't want to dig. Just tell me who's going to win. So we'll see if he's able to do that. I think he's going to try and get us onto the other stuff, and we'll see how we can Heisman him on that.
So what happens if you wait 4.5 hours, and it's just about to give you the pick, and the power shuts down?
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're going to ask him this question.
Does it start back over at hour 1?
We got the Islanders against the Avalanche. The Isles mild dog in this thing. This line went through 0. It's gone from minus 105 to plus 105. They've been a dog all the way though.
Yeah, for me, this is probably the game of the day. And I mean, Colorado's been a good team. We're getting plus money with an Islanders team that's been pretty good all season long at home. They've had Colorado's number. They've won 4 of the last 5 against the Avs. I think I'll take a shot with the Islanders to the plus money here.
And I'm going the other way. I'm like, the Avs are 7-2 their last 9 on the road. Give me the Avs on the puck line here. The Islanders have some defense injury issues. I like the Avs here. Give me the Avs on the puck line.
Mike McCarthy hired by the Dallas Cowboys this morning. I don't see this as a match made in heaven. This is a guy that, kind of wants to shop for the groceries a little bit. And we've got an owner that he wants to shop for the groceries. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets along with everybody. We know that he can win. He's done it before. He's built playoff team after playoff team after playoff team in Green Bay with negotiating a salary cap issue with a quarterback that occupies most of the money. So, of course, it's his comments about things like that. I'm going to guess that why he's not in Green Bay any longer. So, I mean, obviously he can put together the strategy that can get you to the playoffs. He does have 1 Super Bowl. Should he have more? I don't know. I think it's an improvement over Jason Garrett because here's a guy that wins playoff games and gets you to the playoffs consistently. You consistently win, you consistently get to the playoffs, and you consistently win playoff games. So I think that is an improvement over Jason Garrett. Is it going to be a problem in Dallas? Is he the right guy for that job? Do you think that Dallas hired him because they were worried somebody else was going to hire him?
They could have.
I think that there were a lot of other teams looking at him. A lot of teams
might be a little headbutting, but we'll never see that, will we? I don't know. It might come to it, right?
Let's look at the NBA. See what we got. Got the Nuggets taking on the Hawks. Man, I love betting against the Hawks. but they've been playing a little bit better recently. 5-5 against the number in their last 10, and 9-7 against the number at home this season. The Nuggets just 6-8 against the number on the road. But the thing about the Nuggets is they played a pretty heavy-duty road schedule at one point. When they played like the Eastern Conference, it was like Raptors, Celtics, Sixers, all in a row, and it was kind of like it was a tough run. I mean, yeah, they got the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, they beat them by 40, but outside of that, it was a rough road trip. Now they're back on the road. They're taking on the Hawks, who don't play any defense. Kind of like the Nuggets here, laying 8.5 points. Chris?
Yeah, I like the Nuggets as well. I'm not going anywhere near the Hawks.
Rod?
Yeah, I like the Nuggets here too.
We got the Mavs against the Bulls, and I was on the Mavs early this season, right? I mean, I was on the show saying, these are guys putting it together. These guys are just a couple of players away from really, contending and, possibly, winning it all type thing. Like the core that they had, but I still think they're a couple of players away. None of that has changed for me. The public seems to be enamored with this team. Enamored. And it's because of Luka. And it's a good reason. He's a great player. But we're starting to see lousy spreads with the Mavericks. And they're not covering them. 4-6 against the number in their last 10. 7-11 against the number at home this season. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bulls team, we got a team that plays hard. 6-10 on the road straight up, but 9-7 against the number. This Bulls team isn't going to contend anytime soon, but they're doing the right things. I like the Bulls. I'm a Bulls fan. I don't really have a team, but I like the Bulls. I don't know. Kind of. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I think it's a bad spot for the Bulls. I'm just not 100% all in on either side here. I think it's a
What's the number
for me
now?
to the Bulls. At 9.5. It was 8.5, and there I could see myself maybe going with the Mavs. But I think once you go through that 9, I think I'm about ready to flip.
Yeah. I think that's too far. Give me the Bulls.
Chris, you like anything here?
Yeah, I'll take the Bulls. I like the over more than I like the Bulls.
It's like the Lakers again. How did we fall for that trap? Damn Lakers. They didn't cover 11, and then they move them up to 14, and they don't cover that either.
Yeah. They're dead to me.
Oh, that's brutal.
Celtics against the Wizards. Bradley Beal is questionable, so I don't even know. I like the Celtics any way you slice it, for me. I just think they're the better team, and I think that they do cover on the road. Obviously, if Beal plays...
Beal or no, give me the Celtics.
They're in a little better shape, but when you look at the injury list here, it's gigantic. Like Kemba Walker still looks like he's out for the Celtics. But when you look at the Wizards list, it just goes on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take the Celtics.
Yeah. The Wizards are unhealthy.
Go back to NHL. Let's do a couple more minutes here. So I think we've milked this light schedule as much as we can. Kings versus Blue Jackets. Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Columbus here at -110. The Jacks haven't had much luck in LA, but they're playing the better hockey right now. They've won 7 out of the last 10 games. I was high on the Kings at home, but now their defensive issues are starting to rear their ugly head again. I like Columbus here.
Yeah, me too. Their streak finally ended, but hey, we can start another streak. I like Columbus here as well. And the Montreal game, I'm taking the Jets. I think we missed it. Well, we got to it, but we got distracted. We started talking about something else. We moved along the thingy, and I'm taking the Jets. Jets on the money line.
I'm taking the Jets, too. I'm not laying money with a team that's lost 5 in a row.
How about West Virginia against Oklahoma State?
It's going to be West
college
Virginia.
Basketball game tonight between major conference teams.
West Virginia. I'll take West Virginia here.
Me too.
Yeah, I'll take West Virginia.
It seems almost too easy, though.
It does, yeah. As soon as we started the show and you were like, watch out, there's some of these that are too easy. And that was the first one that clicked in my head. I'm like, it does seem too easy. But
yeah, now look at the inverse line movement on this thing.
It's shifted to 1.5 now.
I said at 1.
I got 1.5.
I don't care. Oklahoma State has been terrible lately, and West Virginia is just a beast. I think West Virginia, the loss to Kansas, they're going to shed that right off, just like that loss against St. John's. The West Virginia defense is sick, and I think the Oklahoma State, just the way they've been playing, they lost to Wichita, lost to Georgetown, they beat Houston, lost to Minnesota, beat Southeast Louisiana is their last win, and then they lost to Texas Tech by 35 on Saturday. Good luck against this defense. Good luck taking West Virginia. All right, let's do the wrap-up. Of course, I'm back with Charles Ormsby today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. He's bringing his computer. We'll have fun with him. Chris, lead us off.
All right. Start with the ice. I got Toronto minus 1.5, plus 115 over Edmonton. Winnipeg plus 127 against Montreal. I got the Islanders at plus 105 against Colorado, and I've got Columbus minus 110 against LA. A 3-team parlay. I like Toronto on the puck line, Winnipeg money line, and Columbus money line. NBA, I like OKC plus 7 against the Sixers. Golden State plus 11 against the Kings. The Nuggets minus 8.5 against the Hawks. Over 217.5 in the Bulls Mavs game. College picks, I like UT Arlington minus 7 against South Alabama. And the college football game, I like ULL minus 14 against Miami, Ohio.
Okay. Go to Rod.
All right, let's start with what I got on the ice. I'm going to take the Jets at Montreal. Give me the Jets on the money line, plus 125. I'm going to go with the Avs at the Islanders. I like the Avs on the puck line here, plus 195. Give me the Leafs, minus 1.5. It was a plus 120. And give me Columbus on the money line at the Kings. NBA, I'm going to go with the 76ers minus 7. The Spurs plus 7.5. And I'm going to take a shot with the Warriors at plus 11.5. I think that's just way too many points there. College basketball, I'm going to go with West Virginia minus 1. I'm going to go with Texas Southern minus 11. Troy plus 10.5. And I like Norfolk plus 2. And in college football, give me the Raging Cajuns minus 14. And I love the over in that game. Give me the over. And for me, I'm going to go with the three-way birdcage. Give me the Avs, Leafs, and Columbus, all in regulation.
Okay. I don't have much for you, but I did 19 videos, so they're all out there for you on our YouTube channel. So you can check those out. I covered just about everything that's relevant today. I took Florida A&M, UTA, the Nuggets, the Bulls, the Celtics, and West Virginia. Wow, that was bad. Oh, there you go. Anyways, bring the guys back in. Just change the order up a little bit. So if you're the one that left me the "you're a piece of shit" comment on YouTube, thank you very much for brightening up my Monday. Everybody else, thanks for joining me. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. And be sure to come back at 4 p.m. Eastern Time today. We're going to have Charles Ormsby and his computer software, which picks games for us. So we'll see exactly how that does. Chris and Rod, thanks for joining us. Maybe we'll have you guys on one day later on this week with Charles Ormsby. You guys can ask him some questions. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us again, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'm going to guess there's a bigger schedule tomorrow for NHL than there was today.
I think there's 12 games.
12 games tomorrow, I think, yeah.
All right. So we'll have the brief version rundown of those games. We're going to Speed through. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys at 4 p.m. Charles Ormsby. Be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.